Okay, so you'll see here popping up on the screen are your answers to your starter this morning. So make sure you tick the work you've already done. If you've got any questions about these answers because you've got them wrong, just drop myself or Miss Second a message on Shobi and we'll happily go through them with you. Okay. Now, in the main part of our lesson today, we're looking at starting to look at some area. Okay, so here I've got a shape. Now, hopefully you've already printed this worksheet, which has this question on it, or you've got it open somewhere on your computer. So what I want you to do this now is pause the video and have a go at this question. So I want to have a go at all 4 boxes, and then when you're ready, press play. Okay, so hopefully you filled in your sheet. The length of the rectangle, it says here is 5 and the width is 4. Now if I was to count the number of squares in there, I'd have 20. Seems that my pen has still winding me up, never mind. The area of the rectangle then is 20. So the area just means the space inside the rectangle. Okay, so I can count each square, or if I've got a rectangle or a square like this, I can just do 5 times 4, or 5 lots of 4, because I've got 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lots of 4. So I can just times it. If I can't just times it, because sometimes I've got a strange shape that's not quite rectangular, then I can just count the squares. Okay. Now, here I've got 2 rectangles and a rectilinear shape. A rectilinear shape is just a shape that uses straight, horizontal and perpendicular lines, but isn't a rectangle where the sides are parallel. So I'll pause the video again and have a go at this question. Okay, so there's 2 things you might have done here. You might have counted the squares in each picture to get your answer, or you might have counted here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 3 lots of those, which would be 15. So either way, the answer there was 15. Here, I've got 3 by 3, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And here, I've got I've got 15 there and 9 there. So that would be 24. What do you notice? Well, hopefully you've noticed that I've added my 2 shapes together to make one big shape. So I've been able to find the area by adding these 2 together. Okay, or counting the squares. So what I want you to do now then is have a go at finding the areas of some of these rectilinear shapes. So I've got 2 rectangles, 1, 2, and I've got 3 rectilinear shapes. Those shapes are used using rectangles kind of with a little bit sticking out there, just called rectilinear. You don't need to remember that, you just need to know that's what all it means. Okay, so pause the video and tick the shapes that have an area of 24. Okay, so this shape here, I've got 4 going down and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 going across. 6 times 4 is 24, so I can tick that one. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the area of that would be 8 times 5, which is 40. So I can't tick that because that's not 24. Now with these 3, I can't times to find the area because I've not got the same amount on each row. So I've got to count the squares. So I've got 4 there, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Well, that's not 24. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And another 6 is 12. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. And then here, if I put that square there, then I've got 3 lots of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which would be 24. Well done if you got those ones right. So another thing for you to do yourself, so you're going to pause the video and I want you to draw me 2 rectangles, 2 different rectangles that have an area of 8. Remember the squares on your sheet are 1 centimetre each. Okay, you want to label the sides of your with the length. And then when you're ready, write down the factors of 8 and see what you notice between your rectangles and the factors. Okay, so hopefully you've had a go at this. I'm going to start here with the factors of 8. So the factors of 8 are the numbers that times together to make 8. So I could do 1 times 8 makes 8. And I've got 2 times 4 makes 8. They're the factors. Okay. If I was to draw a rectangle with an area of 8, I could do, and this is going to be tricky with this pen, but I'll try. I could do 1 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's a rectangle there. I haven't got a ruler, and hopefully you've done yours with a ruler. So that space there would have an area of 8. Or I could do 2 by 4. So that's also a rectangle. I've got 2 sets of parallel lines, and the area inside would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well done if you got that right. So now you've got a pad of practice. This time, instead of drawing a rectangle, I want you to draw a rectilinear shape. So remember that just means the sides aren't parallel, but you're using straight lines to draw 2 different shapes that have an area of 12. So pause the video and have a go. Okay, let's see what you've got. Now, you might not have the same as me, and that's fine as long as the area inside is 12. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 6. Ignore that pen mark there. That would be 10. So you could just have a play around with this. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I've only used what's supposed to be straight edges. Okay, you could have had any there, but you just have a go. Just send us a picture and show me of what you've done. Okay, so here now we've got 2 problems. So what I want to have a go at, let's pause your video and have a go at this problem on your sheet. When you find the area of that shape there, the green shape, you multiply 3 by 8 to get the area. Is Rosie right or is she wrong? And explain your answer. So don't just tell me yes or no. Okay, so Rosie here is wrong, because if I was doing 3 times 8, that would mean that I've got 3 lots of 8. But here I haven't got anything because there's a big gap there. So I can't find the area of a rectilinear shape by doing 3 times 8. I can only find areas of rectangles by multiplying. If I've got a rectilinear shape like this, which has not got the 2 parallel sides or 4 sides, I need to count the squares or find a different way of finding the area. So here I've got a rectangle. The rectangle has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 lot of 7, so that would be an area of 7. So like before, I want you to pause the video and draw yourself a rectilinear shape that's not a rectangle with an area of 7. So for example, you could have this. So about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you draw a different one? Okay, so you had lots of practice here now. So this final question I want to spend lots of time on now, because you should have lots of different shapes drawn in your book. Now, if you haven't got squared paper, which I imagine lots of you don't, use a ruler to measure the 1 centimetre sides of your shape. So I'm going to investigate this statement. It is impossible to have a rectilinear shape with an even area if all its sides are odd numbers. So this is the end of the video. I want you to have a go at this question, drawing lots and lots of shapes to see if this is true or false. Okay, now if you draw 2 shapes, that's not going to give you an answer. So you need to draw lots of different shapes with odd numbers on the sides, odd lengths, to see if it's true or false. Okay, once you've done that, go back into Show and look at what your next task is.